Well, that's a campground. We don't do that. Sorry. We're not staying here. Managed to get more fuel, so we're full again, plus whatever we carry on board. And we are back on dirt, off the pavement here just a minute ago. It's like a stiff climb. Now we'll see where this takes us. The road's definitely not as good as the other side. Work down below, but man, it reduces our cruising speed quite a bit. It's so red. Back to the mud, I guess. Itchy? Looks like the road's taking a lot of water damage. I'm just taking a high bypass here to avoid all this ruddy stuff. But it's definitely a secondary road, if that. But we're gonna reconnect to a better FSR shortly, hopefully. I am dragging the trailer through this, but it's doing really good. Monica just walked this section to make sure we're not going to get hung up, but I got a feeling we're going to be okay. That's why we built this Jeep, because we're going to be in these situations and these type of roads. I mean, this is not really four-wheel drive road anyways. Not for this Jeep, but it can be. As soon as you get some wet stuff on this, you can change things real quick. I guess she wants a ride. I guess this is our camping spot right here. Yeah, I'm eating spits. Nothing too special here. It's just a pullover on some small little FSR. But it's dry here and it's fairly warm. It's somewhat sunny. Bit cool. Cool wind when the clouds hit, but this is better than the muddy, rainy camp. So I'll stay here just tonight and then keep moving on in the morning. Yeah. Buggy?
Not at all.
It's not really buggy. I don't have a single one. I don't know what you're doing.
No, it's still landing on you. They took the dogs away, that's why.
Sun setting, and the wind's calmed down a lot. It's almost calm. So we decided to have a little fire pit close to the road here in the gravelly area, away from any or too much dry grass. Well, this is fine. Just gonna keep it small and have some dinner and call it a night. Beautiful sunny morning, cloudless sky. That was a pretty cool night. It's warming up pretty quick, so coffee's on and we're just gonna enjoy the sun and some coffees. And a quick pack and we'll hit the road again. We're trying to head into some park. Is it Pelican Park or something? White Pelican Park. It's definitely an off-road trail. It's got some tracks in it. Some trees have been cut out of the way. Again, you get muddy sections, tight sections. It's further in than we thought. It's slow going, so we're not making much progress. But that's pretty reasonable, so the road bed. I was kind of worried about the outflow being not having a bridge, but
Oh, it's dammed.
oh, cool. So yeah, I thought it might be a swampy crossing, but it's got a pretty solid bridge on it. Gonna do a quick stop here. I think Beaver Lake, something like that. The outlet looked fairly clear-ish, so it looks like it's actually man dammed. Man dammed, not beaver dammed. Let's have a quick look here, but vehicle access is okay. Just make sure it's dry if you try to come in here with a regular SUV type thing. Huh. Interesting. We're navigating just by the back roads map book and GPS and topo maps. We really don't have any information. We don't have internet anyways, but if we did, I don't know if you'd find anything. On these pretty remote, probably seldom visited locations, they probably don't have a whole lot of interest for the public. I would guess, because access is not that great. But it's pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, we're exploring. We really don't have a whole lot of actual destinations or info. So it's kind of slow going with the Jeep to start picking our way through. Make sure we don't get ourselves into any troubles or mechanical breakdowns. So driving the ruts, try not to drive into the ruts too much. It's really hard in your steering linkages and stuff like that. So just gotta be mindful of these things, that if something happens, help is just not available. But so makes for a little adventurous, so makes it more adventurous, I guess. But it's pretty cool checking all these things out, because we have never seen any of this before. So all these roads and destinations are our first time. It's pretty cool. This thing's actually very large. I had no idea. It's pretty big. Man, that would be a pretty cool paddle. And fishing, I guess. Really interesting. Glad we came out. We're in the park now. Just arrived at the lake. It's right behind me here. Looks like it's a pretty decent size. We'll just have a look here. Whoa, bugs. Fuck. taken, on the way in, we were advised by an elderly couple. There's quite a few people camped here. I think because it's traditional land, so we'll leave them be over there and not bother them. But yeah, there's plenty of room here, definitely. It's a big lake. There are some restrictions for boating and fishing and hunting. So, and even aircraft, they can't land here for some part of the season. So it's a pretty cool spot, definitely. Big lake to paddle, that's for sure. Yeah, just gonna take some pictures and log this. Still some pretty impressive trees in here. We've passed quite a few big ones. And larger than average. Yeah, the whole slope here, but it's above Beaver Lake. It's just down here. The dam we're at is just below us. We pulled over for a quick pit stop here. We're gonna have lunch because we tend to just kind of keep driving and only snacking and not having our food properly. So let's enjoy a good lunch today. Got some brat and shallot from the garden. Hot dogs on a bun, and yeah. Another road closed sign, but this time we're actually taking the turn up here, which is supposed to be rugged four-wheel drive, so let's check that out. Hopefully we won't have to turn around because of an issue again. So it looks like everything's burnt in here at one point or another. The forest is pretty well dead as far as you can see. And it's actually, looks like second growth, so that never even made it. Creepy looking. That's our destination. And of course the weather's falling apart again. Overflow site. Oh, dang. Didn't know you could get so busy here. Not sure if anybody's in here. Doesn't look like anything's really fresh tracked. There's some sort of building over there. It's a residence, ranger cabin, who knows. Don't know what kind of access there even is. We just hit some of the wreck sites now. Sites are pretty kind of rough and rustic. Very small. Not RV friendly. We finally made it in. It wasn't too bad. This is bumpy, not really off-roading. It's very lumpy. Decent sized lake. Apparently fishing's quite good. It is stocked. And it's kind of out of the way. So pressure is not that much. The road that leads to the building is kind of blocked, but plenty have made a bypass. I guess so much for the idea of walking over to that building. Lake's pretty high, I guess. We're on the overflow site, which actually is much calmer. Almost no wind here at all. The other wreck site's at the far end. So we decided to actually stay here. We were going to go on further, hit a couple more lakes, and hope that they were decent enough to stay at. The weather isn't that good, but you know, it's calm on this side. It feels much warmer. So yeah, I think we'll just call it an afternoon, and then on the way home tomorrow we'll hit a couple other wreck sites and then to the house. This afternoon's actually turning out to be pretty decent. Sitting here, just we're set up just right at the. This is actually the overflow, believe it or not, and it's actually better as far as being protected from the weather than the official wreck site. There's a pelican. You're gonna see him through the trees. I was trying to feed him some poppables, Lay's chips. He wasn't too impressed, but the seagull sure liked them.
He's waiting for you to go out and fish.
Yeah.
And get him in the guts.
They're hanging around trying to get fish leftovers. So they must get fed fairly often from the fishermen, but don't think I'll be fishing. This lake can produce, apparently. It's got 9 wreck sites also. I'm sure on a good weekend this place is a little busy, but pretty well. There's one person way down the other end.
And unfriendly.
Didn't seem too friendly. Didn't even return a wave, so maybe I'll shoot a couple of bear bangers his way. Or throw on a Metallica CD at 1 in the morning. So we're pretty far apart, probably a kilometer apart. I don't hear anything, so it's like being here by yourself pretty well.
Well, for wreck site's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty good. So the weather's breaking. We've got a little bit of sun coming through and a little bit of blue sky. It's kind of mixed.
Well, it was actually supposed to be a bluebird day today.
It was, yeah. So the weather, I mean, the 2-day-old weather report is kind of fell apart on us, that's for sure. It was not looking so good when we got here. It rained on us a little bit, of course.
Welcome to Cariboo weather.
Right now it's super pleasant. Not a single mosquito, which is really unusual, it seems. So we're just having a cold beer. We've got everything set up. Got the 870 on the table. Had a chance to do a little bit of maintenance on it. It's been laying around in a tent getting dewy overnight, so that's not good for it. Made sure everything's lubricated. Give it a nice wipe down with oil. And that's it. I think we're just gonna enjoy this afternoon because it's still early, I think. Yeah, we've been here a bit and it's only 3:30, so we've got a fair bit of time. Let's check the clouds here. Yeah. These two keep cruising our camp. They're like best buddies. One pelican and one seagull. They've been hanging out for hours. Let's go the other way, okay? Watching us. Hi, buddy. No, man, I didn't go fishing. I don't have any guts for you. All right, see you later.
Fish just jumped right in front of you. Oh my god, did you catch that?
I heard it.
Right out of the water. This tiny little thing.
Oh, he's going for it.
Yep. Shush.
Pelican fishing. Pretty mellow guy. This guy just cruised in at camp. He's watching us closely. Can't really tell what that is. It's a big eagle or a vulture.
It's a falcon.
Yeah, could be a falcon. Be pretty large.
Big.
It's pretty big, yeah. It's good size. A pretty good spread of wings. Yeah, good birding here for sure. It's been a super cool, relaxing afternoon and evening here. It's so quiet. Just a fish, some pelicans, some seagulls actually. And looks like we had a big falcon. Maybe it was an eagle. It was hard to tell. It was a good size. He landed just above camp. Stuck around for 15 minutes. Yeah, really couldn't ask for a better afternoon here. I guess the skies aren't clear, but it is pretty pleasant. There's no bugs, and whoa, is that the pelican taking off? Yep, there he goes. Lots of loons in the back. You can hear them, maybe. Yeah, very nice, very nice. Glad we stayed here. So. I'll do it again, definitely. Hopefully the morning will be just as nice, maybe a bit more clear. Lots of loons here. They are in a distance a little bit, so. Nothing. Delete. Perfect. Well, the only person that was here actually seems to be leaving. That's kind of odd. It was a nice night, but it is Sunday night. Mr. Pelican and the seagull are still hanging out. Because we're making some food, so they still think they're getting their share. Took one of the drones out for a little spin. I think that worked out okay. We'll add that to the film. But yeah, now it's pretty cool because we know we're the only ones here now. And we're pretty far in. Just us, the birds, and the fish. Got some farm eggs scrambled for dinner. But that's on top of some sort of rice and some ground beef.
A little bit.
Ground beef. Oh, and of course, Butch's beans made on the fire.
The pièce de résistance.
Oh yeah. Just slop those on there.
Oh yeah.
This is it.
That's camping food for you.
Yeah, that's gonna fill you up. Keep you warm. The fire pit ring that used to be over there got moved to here, probably because it gets pretty windy, so we put it back, except all this trash was in it. So I have extra bags and I'm gonna just clean this up and we'll pack it out. It's on Monday morning. I think it's day 5 of our road trip, and so we'll spend half a day today and then head home. A couple more destinations we want to check out. Weather looks pretty good. Actually, I think it's day 6 of our road trip. Backcountry trip.
There's raspberries here.
There's raspberries, you said? So we're almost back to one of the FSRs, and we'll connect back to the main and head north a little bit, and pick our way home. Hopefully it'll connect through, because backtracking this would be pretty lengthy. Mountains in the distance. We've driven quite a ways through the forest like this. Apparently it all burned, part of the 2017 burn. This is miles and miles, man. Unreal. Some green stuff coming. just took a turn off the main FSR. We're trying to connect to a main FSR to the north of us. And looks like it's one of those sketchy connector roads. So let's just hope this doesn't end in some sort of closure. Because there's no way out of here then, right? If this doesn't work, then we're screwed. We're gonna do lots of mileage, so let's. It's been well traveled. It's just not in the greatest shape. So that FSR ends up at a private property over here. So we turn around and I found the old FSR that shows on the map, which has not been used. This is a quad trail. Looks like it comes from the house. It's supposed to cross the creek. There's no bridge. You know, I can cross this. That's not an issue. But what happens to this FSR after? I mean, we've got a ways to go. Damn. It's not good. We decided to not push through today. I actually didn't bring the chainsaw because we didn't count on doing any off-trail stuff. Stick to the main roads. But leaving a chainsaw at home is usually a bad idea. And without it, I'm not going to really push through because there was not really any traffic. So I assume any trees down, we have to deal with them. Only tracks I've seen were from the quad, which looks like they came from the house. But I don't think anybody was around to ask any questions. So we're backtracking, but Monica found another way sort of out. But we still have to head down to Highway 20 and take the pavement home, I guess, and then we'll take the old detour when our road blew out. I think we'll probably take that home. And let's see how all that goes. Hopefully there's no more surprises. I'm gonna try to attack that connector road from the north side someday, hopefully soon. And might have to walk it just to map it out because that sure would have been a nice way to actually connect all this stuff, but if that doesn't work, you can't do a loop trip, and that costs you a lot of time and mileage. That is one enormous marshland, holy. Goes on for a long time. This is one of the lakes we were pretty sure we're not going to stay at, but we wanted to stop by and have a look. You can hear the generator running beside where we parked. The lake's okay, but it's got quite a bit of space for RVs and tenting, so it gets busy. I haven't seen that before. It's huge winds coming down the river, blowing against the bank. That's past our property, so I think that's where that slide is. So yeah, this is blowing straight up. Wow. Brutal. I'm down at the workshop with the Jeep. It's actually prepped for another trip. I'm going to go back to one of the FSRs we couldn't connect to again because we ended up at their private residence, and the connected trail just didn't look like it was going to work out, so we turned around. So I'm going to come in the other way from the north again, have another look at this, and there's a couple lakes we missed. I'm going to go solo. This is going to be more of a firewood trip, so I'm going to try to get as much wood as I can into the trailer. I'm taking everything with me. So yeah, I'll try to load this up as much as I can with a canoe on it, make the trip worth it. And I've got the dogs. Monica's going to stay here. So got to play it extra careful, not get into any risks. I don't have any reception, or there's just nobody out there either. So just going to take it easy on this trip, especially with the wood cutting. So keep the risk to a minimum. Other than that, nice thing is the Jeep's pretty well always packed now, and the trailer is just on standby. You know, we can leave it or take it. On this property, it's safe that we can do that. Back at home, when we lived in the city, whatever you want to call it, we had to unpack pretty well all the valuables because the Jeep was parked in front of the house, outside, exposed. So we never did have any problems, but there has been a lot of break-in into cars in the neighborhood, so we could never leave the Jeep really packed at all. But right now, it's pretty well, you know, you grab your food and a couple extra things and you're good to go. Everything that's you need is in here, so it's a pretty turnkey operation. I mean, you're on the road in half an hour if you need. So I was actually not gonna go this morning because the weather was pretty miserable. The ceiling was at 700 meters maybe. It was cold, it was windy, but looks like it's broke up for me. Looks pretty decent. It's pretty well 50-50 sky right now. I'm okay with that. Slight breeze. It's warmed up. It's kind of been a cool trend. It is a warming trend coming, so I'll take that. So if things are not great, then I'll come back tonight. If things are pretty reasonable and I'm happy with the conditions, then I'll stay the night and discuss with Monica. It might be a second night if I get into some things I want to further check out without going off the map we had discussed. I have a pretty well a detailed route I have to stay within an area at least, so there's some chance of finding me. So let's hit the road, me and the dogs. I just pulled over, just a random lake, body of water. Just gonna go for a little walk, get the dogs to do their little thing. Got the Jeep on the road. I don't like leaving it there because it's so fully loaded with things. I mean, I've heard stories as, wow, look at those moose droppings, shit. I've heard stories of all kinds of people getting ripped off. Seems to be more at wreck sites when they're out fishing, which is kind of sad. So it happens everywhere. Probably less likely here just because this is way less traffic. So I'm not gonna leave the Jeep unattended for too long. It's just a few hundred meters, and we'll have a quick look. I am packing. Got the 870. Probably no need for it, but it's just becoming a habit, I guess. Being out here by yourself is always, you know, Nice to have something extra in case. And if there's any issues at the Jeep when I come back, which I really doubt, but let's say if that was a reality, why would I leave the gun in the Jeep? That's just dumb. Anyway, enough about gun talk. Most people don't like it. It's just my reasoning for what I'm doing. Nice walk, so it's old. This is a deactivated, overgrown. Well, I wouldn't say call this overgrown. It's just grassy, soft, open. Looks like the cows are in here, or were. So I find any of the walks really to be somewhat pleasant. It's not miles of alder like at the coast. These roads tend to be in fairly good shape for a long time after they were abandoned. All right, enough chit chat. Let's find out where we're going. Well, here's a random lake. It's probably more like wetland, probably super shallow. I don't know if it's gonna have fish in it or not. But that's that. So we'll just log that on my maps. Doesn't look like it's worth dragging a canoe in here, so unless you're into birding. It's a good size. I think it carries on down the other end for a bit. Not sure how many people are going to be here. It's an official wreck site. But the tracks I can see are, I think they're from the vehicle that I let by, which is right here. He's towing. But, other than that, the road doesn't have any other trucks. I could be wrong. There could be quite a few people here. So far, it looks pretty quiet. Haven't seen anybody yet or smelled campfire. We're not staying here. Well, you never know. I might come back later, but I've got other things to do. So the wreck sites are a good size. Fairly far apart. No, we got people down here. Looks like he found his spot, so I'm just gonna let him set up here and get off the road. Looks like it's a pretty short trailer. I think he's gonna be able to get in here pretty quick. Pretty windy here today. It would not be that pleasant on a canoe. For Plateau Lake, actually, this one's pretty clear. Some of them we've been to, they're the color of tea, and there's a lot of debris and small bits, but this one's pretty clear. Looks good. I actually kind of really like it here. So I'm having a quick lunch right here at this table, watching a loon go by. And the weather is looking okay. The temps are way up, so it's a lot more pleasant. Not so cool. It's just a loon right in front of me. It's pretty cool. So I got to another lake. It's kind of across the one I was at. There was a road closed sign. No vehicle access. A couple of kilometers back, but I pulled in here and there's a bit of a meadow, a fire pit, and stashed firewood, and an old broken chair, and a little cooking rack. Got the loon behind me. pretty cool. So this place is super developed for a non-existing site. So I'm wondering, don't think it's private land, but I'm wondering if this could be Indian Reserve. Don't think anybody's here, but I keep my eye out, just kind of. That's why I always proceed with caution. There's another large fire pit. Right to the water. So yeah, I would say, Mr. Loon, I would say it's definitely a bit of an enhanced site. Could be the cattle ranchers too. Maybe it's a horsey camp. What's this? A little seating area? The lake is pretty cool. Nothing wrong with that. So plenty of room down here. This land has been worked on for a while. Another rock. Yeah, bit eerie. This has definitely been here a while. Actually sounds like there's some water running here. Yeah. Interesting. Shitting area. What the hell? Good hunting camp, I guess. No door, but looks pretty reasonable. So I found another spur that leads down to the same lake. This clearing is pretty big. No issues with camping in here. Don't know how many people you'll get. It's clean. It's the same lake I was just at a while ago. Just a different access spot. Yeah, tons of room. Interesting. It's not marked at all, but there's actually a decent proper outhouse. I'm not sure what the deal is with this. Okay, it's time to get some campfire wood. And maybe some real firewood too. The stuff in here isn't all that great, but I'm gonna have a little poke around. It's definitely good enough for a campfire, but there might be some stuff I can take home. Because the plan is to get this trailer pretty filled up by tomorrow before I go. I'm getting pretty close to that connector road that we couldn't make happen a few days ago on the last trip. It'll be coming up in a couple of kilometers, and I'll have a look to see what we missed, because it looks like there was a bypass a little bit north, and so maybe it does connect. We'll find out. That's one of the other reasons I came up here for. Man, this just goes on. You can just go for days. It's unreal. Heading directly west now. I'm on the exact spot where this road's supposed to be. But it's a burn. But looking at the ground, it almost seems like there's a roadbed here, but there's so many trees down and burnt. You can't tell. So that FSR might have gone through here, but that's toast. You can hike it, I guess. So now I know. We didn't miss a turn or anything. It's just this road's non-existent anymore. That's a good firewood, so. This shit is bone dry, man. Like this tree here. Lots of nice cracks from being super dry. Yeah, you can just tell by the sound. And there's almost no branches. So firewood is not really a problem. Jeez. Yeah, it looks like that's where it used to be. Right where I'm standing. There's actually a little exit here. It's probably pretty grown over in a quad trail, but pretty sure that's where it used to be. Huh. Maybe one day I'll hike it. Maybe not. So yeah, firewood as far as you can see. Pretty straightforward. Just drop a few and choke them up, and drag them out with a winch, and just buck them here close to before you hit the gravel, so you don't get the chain all ruined from cutting dirt. Okay, well, that's all I needed to know on this trip, really. Condition of this road or of its existence. And if you take this not too much further, you'll get to those concrete roadblocks. That concrete roadblock, those little triangle things that are in the other video. So that's what stopped us from going the north FSR. We came down, we hit the roadblock down at the end of this road, so we had to go back. We did a way southern trip. Got blocked out by this FSR, it doesn't exist anymore. So now I'm on this one. But you really can't connect with anything back here. Further up front you can, further east. But I'm pretty far back, and it doesn't really go anywhere. So I think I'm gonna go back to one of those lakes and just use that for a campsite. Probably the one that was empty. And then I can get the rest of the firewood on the way out tomorrow, so that'll work. Because that block I was in, there's enough firewood in there to last me the entire season. Okay, that's a plan, I guess. Let's get out of here. Getting low on fuel too. Not low, but lower than I like. I mean, I've got this extra fuel up top, of course, and some in the trailer. But that's it for the travels for today. let's set up camp, have some beers. Oh, I got a new Coleman stove because the one I've had was well over 20 years old. And it's starting to act up. The burner is not strong, and if you use a second burner, it almost snuffs the first burner out. And you can't get a high flame on them anymore. I could probably service it, take it all apart, but you know, it's getting damn near vintage. So I've got a new Coleman. It's a single burner with a grill option. We'll see if that's any good or not. It seems a bit more flimsy than the other one, but the grill option's nice because sometimes you can't make a fire, right? So if you can't make a fire, it's nice to have a stove that you can actually grill on instead of bringing a barbecue separate. So we'll give that a shot tonight. And this is the other FSR. It loops around and dead ends. It's not in use, obviously. It's close to the other one. I was thinking if this one was in use, maybe it loops the hooks to the other one. But I think she is done for. I'll probably stay here tonight. Of course, as soon as I pulled in, I heard a vehicle coming, and it was a big diesel with a travel trailer and a boat. It's like, ugh. He stopped and looked in here, but I guess he's seen my Jeep and decided to move on. Maybe he's going to stay over at the ghost camp. So I'm not going to quite set up yet. If I have another big RV pull in here, I'm just going to pull out because I'm not going to have a bunch of people here and do their thing. And that's just not how I camp. That's kind of selfish to have this whole thing to myself, but if I can, I'll take it. If people move in, I'll move out. I'm fine with that. This fire pit probably hasn't been used in a bit. There was actually some wood left here. It was just strewn around, so I stacked it over there. It's not that seasoned. It might be last year's even. And there's some trash in the pit, so I just picked that. I picked through that and gonna take it with me. I'll take it out. So I went pretty lazy on the kindling here. I've got some birch bark from our property. We've got plenty there. This wood splits super easy. Very clean, took very little just to splinter it. So I'm thinking it's gonna burn probably just fine on its own without cutting it down much more. So those bits caught on fairly well without small kindling. It looks like it's a bit of a cool fire. This pit is kind of tall. I think probably hasn't been in use for a while. So all this ash and leftover wood has probably got a lot of moisture in it. So my fire is drawing that up. So I'll give this a good burn tonight. Get this all cooking through, and then maybe tomorrow I'll scoop out all the ashes, and this pit will work much better. Num nums. Kibble with sardine water and sardine chunks. Oh yeah. This is the new Coleman stove with a single burner. So I've got about a half hour of sun left. Doesn't look like anybody else is cruising around. It's pretty quiet. So I've got the tent set up. Fire is going in the back. Sitting back in my chair overlooking the lake. The little minnows are going pretty crazy here. Flying right out of the water sometimes. Good little jumpers. Another beautiful Cariboo evening. do have to say the burner is way loud. The other stove actually was almost silent. And same with the grill side. Once you fire that up, it's got some sound to it. It's actually a little bit annoying. Both burners going. Got some water on simmer. That's a full pot. It's probably 2 liters, maybe 1.5 liters. And the grill's going for 3rd power. Very impressed with the heat. Actually, you can get some nice color on this is pork, but looks like you can get some nice color. And I'm nowhere near even full power. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with that. Just gonna add some eggs on here and I'll have my breakfast ready. Looks like it's a pretty decent day. Lots of blue sky, which is moving toward me. Oh, the clouds are moving behind me anyways. So it's gonna be a slow start, nice and relaxing. Pack up and clean up, and we'll do some wood on the way home and call it a trip. Made a steak this morning too, because it had to be cooked. And again, able to get some decent color on it, even without having to burn a full bore or doing a lot of preheating. So pretty happy with that. We're down at the woodshed, which is starting to look a little thin, but we have the other side that we're starting. What we're gonna do is whatever is super seasoned that I'm taking home, it's gonna go back in here. So there is actually a little bit that we've just been bringing home. But main reason we're here is for the new addition to what we need for axes around here. This is a Trail Boss by Cold Steel. Looks like American Tomahawk companies put a sticker on it, so I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe they bought them out. Not really any controversy on this. It's a fairly cheap axe. It's pretty light, kind of lightweight, but not as light as the one we have that goes with the Jeep, which struggles with most logs. This is probably a 2-pound head, maybe 2.25 pound. I'll have to check. Nothing fancy. The steel is easy to sharpen, so it's a decent Taiwan steel. And American hickory handle on this thing, which is not really treated. A little bit disappointed in that, but I can take care of that. So at the woodshed, we usually use this guy. Monica got me that. And it doesn't struggle at all with anything. Even Monica can pound through some big logs with that, no problem. But once you got a log half quartered, we're gonna see if the Trail Boss can take care of the rest. Because sometimes we take up large chunks of the house that need to be dealt with. Monica's gonna do a demo. So I had a couple of quick goes at it. So when you grab the handle, it instantly feels like, yeah, man, it just feels good. So definitely a really comfortable grip. And there's a lot of info online about this axe. I mean, it's very packable. A lot of the bushcrafters use it, even though it's cheap, but it does the job, and it's just comfortable, and it gets the job done, and that's what counts. So Monica's gonna give this a shot. But yeah, it does slice through those half logs just like butter.
Would
Yeah. Maybe not. Don't be chicken. Let her have it. It's done. That one's split anyways. Take 3. So Monica's gonna give this a shot.
Take 20.
Yeah, I shouldn't stand here maybe anymore. Let's just okay. That did the job. Okay, just do 20 more. I'm just gonna go get a beer, okay?
This is a mall tackle.
Oh man, here comes
It's too big?
No, it'll do it. Just don't smash the handle into it, please.
No.
All right. I'm gonna stand here.
It's probably not gonna go through the first time, but the mall does it
Hit it again. It's coming. Just hit it upside down.
You don't want me to do that.
Why not?
No. Watch out, we know.
That did it. Almost hit a dog at it while we're at it. Our big apple tree is getting fairly close to being ready. But some of the wind we've had knocked a lot on the ground, which are not really any good. So we're gonna box them up, and I got permission from the owner to give them to the horses that roam around down below on the pasture. Got the trail boss down at the shop. So I'm just gonna go over this blade here and give that a little bit of a tune up with a metal file and maybe a sanding stone if it needs. The handle, yeah, I did that. The handle's been sanded. I took most of that varnish off. Looks like it was just a thin coat, probably water-based. And I'm gonna give this a coat of linseed oil. And I could sand it more like in here, but this is just gonna be a working axe here. This is a budget axe, so I'm not gonna get too fancy. We're just gonna give it a quick service. We're backcountry again, exploring. I got Monica with me. We went to a couple of lakes. This time there were actually people there because it's Sunday afternoon and it's hot. It's almost 30. We have a few other plans, so a few other destinations. This road had it was deactivated. There was no way. That's bear right there.
That's bear right there.
Yeah, wow. So this road was deactivated. It was dug up, so we couldn't drive in. There's a parking area, so I actually had to leave the Jeep behind again. I don't like doing that. So we're just gonna walk in. And the bypass connects back to the road that leads back to this lake. So what we got here is, that one's pretty big. Like, these paw prints are pretty big. There's Reno's paw. So quite a bit bigger than that. And then what else do we got going on here?
Oh, there's a bear over there.
So we got a bear print right here.
There's moose prints.
Yeah, there's moose in here and deer, and then
moose here.
is there moose
Kind
there?
of like elongated. You could see it sliding down, but
That might be cow, but no, there is cows in here, but that's not a cow print, I don't think. Don't think that's a cow print. No, that's not. That's definitely ungulate. So this roadbed's pretty good shape, but we gotta walk in a ways. Let's see what we can find. Okay, we're at road end. Right behind me here. So the lake's beside us, we can see it. There we go, look at that blue sky. Look at that blue sky. Looks like there's a little trail down to the lake. These guys actually managed to drag this trailer in here through that bypass. Wow. Never buy a used trailer. You never know where it's been. So they're set up here. Looks like full time. Their truck's not here. But I think these guys have been here a while.
these guys do.
Just walked a little further. There's another way in. It's pretty rough, so.
Oh, look at all the fish in here.
But there's a little dock here. So there's just a ton of fish. Probably hard to see on cam, but lots of minnows here. And some little fatter ones cruising around. Huh? Whoops. Missed that one. Jumping. Kind of surprised they're this active right now on a 30-degree day, but looks like we gotta come back and check into this a little further. This is actually pretty close to the house. Check this out. There's an old trail going through the forest, but it's full of blowdown, fairly large trees. Pretty simple to cut out of the way. If you walk down to toward the lake, you get to this opening. Old abandoned fire pit. Awesome view of the lake. Well, it looks like some half decent access here. Access to the lake is easy. And that other camp is around the bend, so you're actually apart a fair bit. Water here is pretty clear. It goes in a little bit steeper. It's just as good. It's just nobody's come in here. There's big trees down.
Yeah, cleaned up.
So if you want to drive in, you'll have to deal with this tree. But I'm going to do that because the wood in this is awesome. It's a good length. And then there's another one just down there across. It's almost the same size. Yeah, man, you got a trailer load of wood. It's a bit hidden off the main.
Yeah, you actually don't really notice it
No.
unless you're walking.
I did. Yeah, if you come along this closed road, if you just walk by here, you won't really notice, but yeah, you could easily drive in. Need to keep this one hidden, so. All right, we're heading out of here. There's trees on the road. People just been driving around it and over it. It's a perfect tree, man. It goes all the way in. So, guess what? It's going in the trailer. Well, it's not an accident, but almost. They lost all their hay. Full load. Shitty deal. We're gonna give him a hand. Alright, let's get this loaded up. What a mess. It looks like the trailer actually went off in the side here. Dug in. Oh man. We'll make it happen. Shitty deal. This truck took some bad damage. Oh man, it needs a whole box. That's toast. This is Sarah. Works for Parks. She's here to assist also. And she owns the vineyard with the cute goats and sheep. Alright. We got a ways to go yet. Getting there. A whole load dumped.
125 total is on this load.
And it's 34 degrees. Awesome. Okay, we got that trailer loaded. They're good. Good job. They're so tired.
No, my arms are officially tired.
Yeah, they're pretty tired. Doing
They were tired
firewood.
before,
It's
but-
34 degrees. We're doing firewood, throwing hay bales. Ugh, ran out of water a while ago. So, one of the girls, she was thanked us so much. She offered us $50 each. Just like, no. We turned that down. Yeah, I'm not gonna take any cash for that. That's just
That's what country living is all about.
pretty well.
Helping each other out.
So I think we should go home and have a cold beer now.
Oh, or two.
Or 3 or 4 or 10.
You guys okay? I know.